Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with Craig. It is Tuesday morning. Yeah, one day closer to Friday. Yes, I am already counting until Friday. But anyway, so today we're going to talk about an interesting topic, one that I'm sure that I think, or at least we saw coming. Right after the shooting in Vegas took place, we received a plethora of media calls. I mean, just one call after another from the media, asking us questions about bump stocks and about whether or not they should be legal or whether or not they are legal here in the state of California. And, I had a number of folks a number of media folks who said, well, but this person and that person and this attorney and that attorney are saying that they're legal, they're not legal, they're legal. How do you know? I said, ultimately, we don't know, because what we do know about our California Department of Justice is, well, they're going to make decisions based on whatever the political whim is of the Attorney General. That law may have very little to do with it, with the exception of when we wind up going to court in order to help them figure out what the heck they're doing. And so just recently this week, the California Department of Justice, Javier Becerra, sent out a press release that basically said that bump stocks were already illegal in California, and issued kind of information with their stipulation as to why they believe that is in fact the case. Well, we had a chance to kind of take a look at their press release and take a look at the codes that they're citing. And quite frankly, needless to say, we are a bit amiss. So let's take a look at what it is that the Attorney General had to say. So in his release, which he issued, he stated that the California Department of Justice today issued an advisory reminding gun retailers that bump stocks, also known as multiburst trigger activators, because they accelerate rapid fire capacity of a firearm, are illegal in California. Bump stocks reportedly were used in the Las Vegas shooting on October 1st, the deadliest mass shooting in modern American history. The advisory issued to 2,300 dealers across California references California Penal Code 16930, which defines bump stocks, and Penal Code 32900 and 32990, which make them illegal. Any person in the state who possesses, manufactures, imports into the state, offers for sale, or who gives or lends one of the devices has committed a crime. Penalties for violating the law can include up to 3 years imprisonment. So, first of all, before we even get into the details of understanding what this is, let me just say this. And I tell you guys this all the time. Details matter. And details matter because, first of all, you're talking about something that's highly technical. I don't stand here, or I don't sit here before you claiming to be an expert, but I do know how to read. And I do know how to understand what definitions are when it comes to technology. What they're attempting to do in this press release is to, first and foremost, create definitions. They're trying to redefine words. Because here's the first thing that I will ask you. If bump stocks were not created or didn't become, weren't even reviewed by the ATF until just a few years ago, how is it in 1990 that bump stocks were made illegal? And oh, by the way, what is the definition of multi-burst? Or what is the definition of semi-automatic versus automatic? What's the difference between automatic and multi-burst? Is there? Who knows? So let's go and let's take a look and see what exactly the code says. So, Penal Code 3290 states that unless otherwise exempted from the law, any person who possesses, makes, lends, gives, sells any multi-burst activator can be punished by a misdemeanor or a felony, sometimes called a wobbler, potentially including jail time or prison time. Penal Code 16930 defines a multi-burst trigger activator as either a device designed or redesigned to be attached to a semi-automatic rifle, which allows a firearm to discharge 2 or more shots in a burst by activating the device. 16930A, or a manual or power-driven trigger activating device constructed and designed so that when attached to a semi-automatic firearm, it increases the rate of fire. Now, so let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about exactly what that means. Now, what is the rate of fire of any semi-automatic firearm, even with a bump stock on it? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody got an answer for me? I'll tell you what it is. One trigger pull, one round. That is the rate of fire, right? Multiburst is you pull the trigger one time, you just read it. 2 or more rounds come out at a time. That's multiburst. So here's what I'm having a hard time understanding. If it still requires one trigger pull each time, does a bump stock now meet the definition of a multiburst device? In fact, it does not. But their attempt to redefine the law or recreate the law. Now, here's the thing. If they believe that they want to recreate it, they want to try and regulate it, well, then guess what? There's a process. That process is called the Administrative Procedures Act. You put forth regulations, that you put them out there. There's public comment, right? There's an opportunity to bring up things like this. Because clearly no one in the Department of Justice, at least no one involved with putting together this press release, knows what they're talking about. And that could have been brought up during that comment process. But no comment process, no discussion. AG looks stupid. That is where we are. Not only does he look stupid, but now he's issued underground regulations, which it is very clear is illegal. No state agency is allowed to enforce underground regulations that have not been put out for review, that have not been given, people have not been given the opportunity to actually take a look at. Or not even not to take a look at, but there's been we don't even know if it's consistent with the law. I can tell you pretty much from what I've read, I don't believe it is. But I'm not a lawyer. Most importantly, I'm not his lawyer. Although I think he's supposed to have a law degree before, you become attorney general. But I guess knowing what the law is and being attorney general and enforcing the law are two very different things. Anyway, so for those of you who've seen kind of reports in the media or seen things out there, I had a lot of people once again come to me and ask me, Craig, right after it happened, Craig, but aren't these illegal? And I'm like, no, I think there needs to be more research that needs to be done. There needs to be more reading that needs to be done. We need to see what sort of law, what is the Attorney General going to say? What is the Department of Justice going to say? And then what are they going to base it on? Well, now we know what they're going to say. They want them to be illegal. And now we know what they're using as their justification. A bunch of bullshit. And so now we can honestly look, if this is the best they have, then I think it's pretty safe to say that, based on what they've put forward, that's not a real justification to say that bump stocks are illegal in California. Once again, I'm not an attorney. Do not take this as legal advice. But you see what the attorneys came up with. And we know that it's not based in the actual understanding of the technology relating to firearms, at least not on this planet. Anyway, that's kind of my perspective. Let's see what some of you have to say about today's topic. One pull of the trigger. Eric Carter. No such standard. Yep, you guys. Hashtag not my governor. Very funny. I like that one. Okay. Larry says it's going to take years to overturn, and in the meantime, they get to pander and say we did something. Well, but that goes right back to the point, Larry, and I think you get it. They realize that they pass all of these laws that they know are unconstitutional, that they know are in violation of federal law, but they do it because they know that it's going to take forever to get it through the courts. For us to be able, it's going to take a long time. But here's the thing, guys, we still have to have the fight. We still have to do it. Because in the end, it's the last, well, it's not the last, but it's probably the next place where we need to be having this fight is going to be in the courts. It's the last governmental institution where we have to take our concerns and seek redress. And so that's why we have to fight that fight. That's why we have to continue to go there. That's why we have to look at things like this. That's why these things need to be challenged in court. And understand this. I don't know where you guys stand on bump stocks. And it's not really, this is not about bump stocks. It's about a couple of things. On a smaller perspective, it's about this desire to ban anything firearm related. If they could, they would ban ammunition. If they could, they would ban they want to ban bump stocks. If they could, they would ban semi-automatic rifles. If they could, they would ban any magazine that holds more than one round at a time. Slowly but surely, they want to whittle away at our Second Amendment right by taking it away piece by piece, because they know they can't take the firearm away. We have a right to a functioning firearm. But they can make it not functional by making sure that, number one, we can never get a new one, by making sure that we don't have ammunition for it, by making sure that we have to keep it locked in a safe in our basement behind a vault. If they believe that they can get away with that, they will do that. If they can ban any place, make it almost impossible for you to purchase a firearm from any retailer in the state of California, they will do it. But then it's also the broader context of there's such a thing as the rule of law. Even if you're going to pass a law that we disagree with, there's a process, okay? The Attorney General does not make law. Sorry, Mr. Becerra, you don't. You left Congress. They make laws. The state legislature makes laws. The Attorney General doesn't. You enforce the law. You don't break the law by trying to create your own law. That makes you the very same lawbreaker, law violator, whatever you want to call it, criminal, that you were sworn in to protect us law-abiding citizens from. So no, there's a process. Even if you believe it's within the law. How are you going to say that bump stocks were made illegal in 1990 when bump stocks didn't even exist? What a turd. I'm sorry. let me get back to you guys. Okay. That means the people who That means the people who band together to take a big or corrupt to take over. Oh, that means the people who band together or take over or take a big or corrupt government. Yeah, you lost me on that one. Oh, here we go. If government lies to us, it's just politics. If we lie to the government, it's a felony. Yes, Gordon, you pretty much hit it. Here's Taylor. Taylor says if the state legislature exempted themselves from the firearms laws, then I won't. Okay, Taylor, I'm going to tell you again. I've said this every single time someone brings it up. The legislature did not exempt themselves from firearms laws. They did not. They did not. They did not. They did not. Please don't ever, never perpetuate that one again, because all it takes is for them to come up with one time that we are perpetuating fake news. And yeah, that is fake news. Yeah, it didn't happen. I did a Coffee with Craig on it months ago. If I can find it, I'll repost it in this thread and you can watch it again. But I will tell you right now, didn't happen. Anyway, on to the next topic. Eric, I think we need to push these goons out of office. Their lack of knowledge on correct process for pushing for laws calls for removal. It's not that they don't know, Eric. It's that they don't care. It's that they believe that they can do unjust things, that they can break the rules, they can change the rules if it means them getting to do something they want to do or they believe should be done. Even if what they should be done will have absolutely no positive effect and won't have the effect that they intend, as long as they feel good about it, that's all that really matters. And yes, they do need to be pushed out of office. But here's the thing. People who think like us keep saying, well, we move away from them, right? We move to other states. We move to rural California. And I get that. You want to be where you want to be. But But we have to get to a point where we have to be willing to take them on their ground, where we have to be willing to go after the gun grabbers who are in office, who are here, right? Because I'm like this, we got to fight this battle somewhere. I'd rather fight it here while I'm still young enough and have enough energy to be able to do so. And so I believe if we weren't fighting here, the front lines would be Washington, Oregon, or Nevada, or it would be somewhere else. So anyway, but I hear what you're saying. But here's the thing, man: it's going to take time. It's going to take money. It's going to take people being willing to invest in unseating some of these folks. And once again, all I ask folks is this: is that if you say that we need to take them on politically, we got to ask this: what have you done? And what are you willing to do? How much are you willing to step that up? That's what it's going to take. Let's see if I can take one more. All you have to remember is the end justify the means. It's the progressives' mantra. Yes, they believe that the ends justify them, but it's not even the ends. See, that's the thing you got to realize, Alan. They're not even concerned about the ends because in the end, their policies fail. And somehow they find a way to blame Republicans. I find it odd. It's, a city like Chicago, from front to back, is run by anti-Second Amendment Democrats, and yet somehow gun violence in that community is the fault of Republicans. Go figure. Anyway, folks, that's going to be it for today's Coffee with Craig. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember, this stuff, the information that we're sharing with you, it's 10 times as good when you share it, right? The more people that we have who know and understand what's going on in the fight for the Second Amendment, the greater likelihood we have of being able to defend our right to keep and bear arms. And that's only effective. That's only going to be effective if you are a part of the process. We appreciate your donations. We can't do this here without you. We appreciate the fact that you take the time to educate yourself. But what you also got to do is you need to help educate those around you. Share the information. These videos, it's real simple. Look, right there, just below the video, just over there. No, not there. There, right there, right there. Share, press that share. And just share it. Let your folks kind of learn some of the stuff that you're learning. Anyway, folks, it was a pleasure, as usual. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Have fun. Stay free.
If you like our videos, follow, subscribe, like, and share.